Welcome to Artificially Literate. This is where books, films, and ideas meet deep thought and, curiosity. Each time we explore a piece of literature, maybe a film, sometimes a cultural moment, and we really try to break down its philosophical and, literal meanings. So if you love stories, if you're seeking meaning, or maybe you just enjoy a good, thoughtful takeaway, this is definitely your space to reflect, learn, and maybe look at the world a little differently. To get us started today, let's kick off with a fantastic quote from the book itself. It really sets the mood. And now, Harry, let us step out into the night and pursue that flighty temptress adventure. That's Dumbledore, of course, guiding us into what turns out to be a really crucial and ultimately quite heartbreaking journey. Today we're diving deep into J.K. Rowling's absolutely pivotal novel, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and also its 2009 film adaptation. And this one, it isn't just another chapter in Harry's story, is it? It really marks a profound shift, a definite darkening. We get plunged much deeper into the dark heart of the war against Voldemort.
And it's here, in these pages and on screen, that secrets essential to understanding his downfall really start to come out. So our mission today is to unpack the book's intricate story, highlight the main events, some key quotes obviously, then we'll compare that with the film, see what works, maybe what got missed, and discover those little nuggets of knowledge or foreshadowing you might not have caught. Get ready to explore deeper meanings, character complexities, and, the whole unfolding destiny of the wizarding world. It's to be quite the adventure.
It really should. And it's striking, isn't it, how this book, Half-Blood Prince, really elevates the stakes. It's not just Harry's world anymore. Right from the start, it's clear the conflict isn't just contained. It's affecting everyone, even the Muggle world. That broader scope makes everything feel heavier, more urgent. More dangerous, really.
Exactly. And that brings us perfectly into our first part, the gathering storm and shifting allegiances.
Yeah.
Because the way Rowling opens this book, it just hammers home that widening conflict idea. It grabs you immediately and says, okay, things are different now. Let's start right there, that opening. It's so unique. We don't begin at Hogwarts or, with Harry at the Dursleys. Instead, we're dropped into the office of the Muggle Prime Minister.
Yes.
Which is unexpected, right? I remember reading that and just thinking, whoa. It immediately signals that Voldemort's return is way more pervasive now. It's spilling over, impacting the Muggle world in terrifying ways they can't even comprehend.
Oh, it's a masterful stroke, a strategic choice, definitely, to immediately show the reach of these dark forces. And the Prime Minister's internal monologue, it's brilliant. You feel his frustration, his bewilderment. He's dealing with collapsing bridges, weird fogs, things that just don't make sense in his world. Plus, the Azkaban breakout. Real-world chaos, but he has no framework for it. And then Fudge keeps popping in through the fireplace.
Yeah, the Flu Network arrivals.
Via green flames, yeah, delivering worse and worse news, but still trying to sort of manage appearances. It's almost darkly funny.
It really is. The tension in those meetings. You see Fudge, so defensive, almost bumbling, trying to spin everything while the wizarding world is clearly falling apart, and then, bam, he's out. Replaced by Rufus Scrimgeour, who comes across as much tougher, more pragmatic.
A real wartime leader vibe.
Exactly. It highlights that contrast in leadership styles during a crisis.
Yeah.
Fudge trying to wish it away, Scrimgeour stepping in like, right, this is serious. It's very human, actually, how power shifts under pressure.
And this shift, seen from the outside, kind of makes you think about how societies cope with threats they can't explain. We even get that chilling detail filtering into the Muggle news, the murder of Amelia Bones. The police are baffled, right? Locked room mystery.
Yeah, they have no clue.
But the wizards, they know exactly what happened. That gap in understanding and Fudge trying to explain away magic, it just underlines the disconnect and the hidden impact of this war on ordinary people. The fear's real, even if the cause is secret.
And this is a major point where the film makes a very different choice.
Yeah.
That whole opening with the Prime Minister, it's just gone.
Yeah, it's completely cut. And the impact of that omission, I think, is pretty significant. The film jumps straight into the magical world, keeps the focus tight on Harry, Hogwarts, the wizarding side of things, which works, for pacing maybe.
But you lose something.
You do. You lose that initial broader sense of dread, that feeling that this war is impacting everyone, Muggle and wizard alike. The book establishes those global interworld stakes right away. Without that grounding, the film feels maybe a little more contained, less like a world war, more like a wizarding world problem. You don't get that same immediate gut punch about the scale of the threat. Hashtag 1.2 Snape's ominous vow and Draco's burden.
Okay, so from the Prime Minister's office, the story jumps somewhere completely different. Spinner's End. Much darker, much grimmer. This desolate industrial setting, Snape's childhood home, apparently. And we find Narcissa Malfoy and Bellatrix Lestrange turning up on his doorstep. The whole atmosphere, greasy, cramped, rundown, it just captures Narcissa's desperation perfectly. And Bellatrix's, well, her fanaticism, it's properly chilling.
It is. And that scene just throws us straight into high stakes and deep ambiguity. It sets up one of the book's biggest questions, right? Snape's loyalty. Bellatrix is all gung-ho, dismisses Narcissa's fears. It's a great honor, she says, about whatever task Voldemort's given Draco. A chance to prove himself.
But Narcissa, you see her terror. She knows this honor is likely deadly, maybe even a suicide mission. She understands Voldemort doesn't forgive failure, especially after Lucius messed up at the Ministry. She's terrified for Draco. It actually makes her quite relatable for a moment.
It really does. And then comes the unbreakable vow, which is, wow. It's not just a promise, break it and you die. Simple as that. And Snape agrees. He makes this life or death oath to Narcissa, with Bellatrix acting as the bonder, sealing the magic.
He vows to protect Draco, help him with the task, and, crucially, if Draco fails, Snape has to do it himself. The tension is just immense. The implications are staggering. There's that key quote, isn't there? Snape, cool as ever. Certainly, Narcissa, I shall make the unbreakable vow. Perhaps your sister will consent to be our bonder.
Yeah, delivered with that cold calm. It just cements his incredibly complex, ambiguous role. You're constantly asking, whose side is he really on? It lays the groundwork for so many mysteries later. Is he playing Voldemort? Is he truly loyal? Or is he just bound by this absolute promise? It's a critical piece of the puzzle for understanding his actions all year.
Definitely. And the contrast between the sisters there, Narcissa's fear, very maternal, and Bellatrix's ruthless zeal. It shows cracks even within the Death Eaters, doesn't it? Personal motives, emotions, not just blind loyalty.
Absolutely. Even among the villains, there's complexity. Hashtag tag 1.3, Dumbledore's urgent summons and Slughorn's reluctance.
Okay, shifting gears again. Dumbledore. His presence in this book feels different, more urgent, purposeful. He makes quite an entrance, arriving at the Dursleys to collect Harry. It really highlights that Harry's protection there is waning. Time to move on, basically. The blood wards aren't enough anymore.
Right. And there's that brilliant scene where he just casually takes charge with magic, conjuring mead, making the Dursleys listen, floating the sofa.
It's part comic relief, part sheer power move.
Exactly. He's deliberately putting them in their place, showing them their petty cruelty means nothing in the grand scheme of things, and showing Harry he's not under their thumb anymore. It's a great moment.
And something else really important happens there, which is easy to miss. Creature. Sirius's house elf is now Harry's. Harry has to confront his feelings about Creature betraying Sirius. But Dumbledore insists give Creature an order. Secure his loyalty.
Strategically vital. Keep Creature out of Bellatrix's hands, given everything he knows about Grimmauld Place. Dumbledore's always thinking steps ahead, isn't he? Even about a house elf Harry hates.
Always. The Dursleys' reaction to Creature is peak Dursley, too. Just shrieking.
Yes. Total ignorance and disgust for anything magical. But the main reason Dumbledore collects Harry isn't just rescue, it's strategic. He needs Harry's fame, his chosen one status, to lure Horse Slughorn out of hiding. Slughorn is key, and Dumbledore knows Harry is bait. Slughorn can't resist.
Slughorn. What a character. He's hiding out disguised as an armchair.
Yeah, with fake dragon blood splattered around. It shows he's skilled, definitely knows concealment, but also quite theatrical. He's a survivor, clearly hiding something.
Or hiding from something.
Right. And his defining trait, the one Dumbledore exploits, is his collection. Not of things, but of people. Talented students, connected people. His potion skill is almost secondary to his networking. He loves being close to power, fame.
So Harry Potter is the ultimate collectible.
Exactly. Dumbledore knows Slughorn won't be able to resist adding Harry to his slug club. It's a weakness Dumbledore uses. The film actually captures Slughorn really well, I think. That mix of jovial, charming, but also cunning and self-preserving. You like him, but you're also a bit wary.
Okay, moving into part 2. The Horcrux hunt begins, and teenage turmoil. And that sense of anxiety we talked about, it just keeps ramping up. The wizarding world is clearly living under this constant cloud of fear now. It's not just background noise, it shapes everything. Hashtag tag 2.1, security, suspicion, and the shadow of Malfoy. The Ministry, under Scrimgeour, is trying to cope. They're issuing these leaflets, simple security guidelines, like don't leave the house alone, be careful after dark.
It sounds almost comically mundane, doesn't it, for dealing with dark magic?
It really does. It shows how desperate they are to maintain some kind of order, even if it feels a bit futile against, Death Eaters.
And that fear gets everywhere, even the burrow, which always felt so safe and warm. Now Mr. Weasley has password protocols, and Mrs. Weasley's clock, all the hands pointing to mortal peril. It's a powerful visual, showing that nowhere is truly safe. Every family feels that tension.
Then there's Diagon Alley. It's changed. Still got Weasley's Wizard Wheezes providing that defiant splash of color.
Their joke shop is booming. Daydream charms, decoy detonators.
But everywhere else, it's tense. Ministry security, those weird probity probes checking everyone for dark objects. It's a different vibe entirely.
And the irony is, Fred and George are making a killing selling joke items that double as defense products, like skeeving snack boxes to get out of dangerous situations or Peruvian instant darkness powder.
Right. It's this bizarre mix of humor and genuine protection. Shows resilience, people needing a laugh even in dark times. But also, even humor has to adapt to the war.
It's a smart commentary on coping, really.
And it's in this atmosphere that Harry spots Malfoy acting suspiciously. In Borgin and Burke's, the dark arts shop, he sees Malfoy looking at a cabinet talking about a job for Voldemort. And that just kicks off Harry's obsession for the year. What is Malfoy up to?
Yeah, that becomes his main focus, his personal investigation. The film does a good job here, visually. Diagon Alley looks darker, moodier. They use cinematography soft focus, muted colors to contrast with the bright joke shop. It really sells that shift in atmosphere and makes Harry's suspicions feel urgent.
So this year, Dumbledore's lessons are different. No new spells. Instead, he uses the pensive. They literally dive into memories of Tom Riddle's past.
It's like detective work, isn't it? Trying to understand Voldemort's origins, how he became what he is. It's a brilliant way to deliver exposition, but also makes it feel very immersive, very psychological.
Yeah, you're right there with Harry, uncovering these dark secrets.
And the first memory is the Gaunts, Voldemort's mother's family, descendants of Slytherin but living in squalor. We learn about Enoch Bont, Voldemort's mother, abused, downtrodden, obsessed with the muggle Tom Riddle Sr., and the really disturbing part, she used a love potion on him.
Basically bewitched him into marriage, which is,
Yeah,
deeply uncomfortable. Sets a dark tone for Voldemort's own ideas about control.
absolutely. And then Tom Riddle Sr., once the potion wears off, he just leaves her, flees disgusted. So Voldemort is born from this act of magical coercion and then immediate abandonment. Born in an orphanage, never knowing his father or his heritage, you really start to see the roots of his fear of death, his obsession with power, his hatred.
Especially his hatred for muggles.
Exactly. The world that rejected him.
Then we see Dumbledore visiting young Tom at the orphanage. 11 years old, but already creepy.
Oh, definitely creepy. Controlling his powers, signs of cruelty, the rabbit, tormenting other kids, collecting trophies from them. He already knows he's different, hates his common name. Dumbledore showing him magic confirms it, but also serves as a warning, setting the wardrobe on fire. It's their first subtle confrontation.
And later, the memory of Hepzibah Smith, the wealthy witch Tom Riddle charmed.
Right, and stole from. This is where we learn about Slytherin's locket and Hufflepuff's cup, heirlooms of the founders, and the detail about his eyes flashing scarlet when he sees them. Chilling.
You see the future Dark Lord right there, planning, coveting these objects for his Horcruxes.
The film touches on these memories, but the book, it gives you so much more depth, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. More detail, more nuance in each pensive dive. You really explore the psychological impact of his upbringing, the abandonment, the cruelty, the manipulation. It gives you a much richer, more disturbing understanding of why he became Voldemort. It wasn't just inherent evil. It was trauma, choices, manipulation. The film has to condense it, so sometimes that complexity gets a bit lost. Hashtag tag 2.3 teenage life amidst the darkness.
But even with all this heavy stuff about Voldemort's past, Harry's life at Hogwarts goes on. Danger, pressure, but also normal teenage stuff. Awkward drama.
It's a strange mix, isn't it? Life or death stakes alongside Quidditch and romance.
Totally. And Harry's suspicions about Malfoy seem confirmed by those attacks. First, Katie Bell and the Cursed Necklace. Harry instantly links it back to Borgin and Burke's.
And then Ron getting poisoned by the mead meant for Dumbledore. That really ramps things up. It shows Malfoy's mission, whatever it is active, dangerous, and targeting people close to Harry, even Dumbledore himself.
Yeah, amidst all that, Quidditch. Ron struggles as keeper, his confidence issues.
Until Harry cheats. Well, sort of. Using the Felix Felicis. Pretending to put it in Ron's string. The placebo effect works wonders. Leads to that great game against Slytherin, a much-needed win.
And then there's the Ron and Lavender relationship. So awkward, so public.
1-1.
Exactly. Which drives Hermione mad with jealousy, leading to canary attacks, classic teenage drama. amplified by magic.
And Harry wrestling with his feelings for Ginny, who's with Dean. The loyalty to Ron, the chosen one burden. It's complicated. Adds that human layer to the war story.
It does, but it all comes back to the mission. Harry needs Slughorn's real memory, and he uses Felix Felicis again to get it.
And the potion leads him on that weird detour to Aragog's funeral.
Yeah, the giant spider. It's bizarre, but it works. Hagrid's grief, Slughorn getting sentimental, lots of mead.
And Slughorn finally cracks, gives up the untampered memory about Horcruxes. The key piece Dumbledore needs.
It's the linchpin memory.
Yeah.
Without it, they're stuck. And Slughorn just gives him the Felix Felicis earlier, saying, here you are then. Here you are, 1 bottle of Felix Felicis, as promised, and use it well. He has no idea how crucial that little bottle will be.
Feels like fate, almost, guided by the potion.
Right. Okay, before we get into the final part, just a quick reminder for everyone listening. You can find Artificially Literate on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Do follow us, subscribe, you know the drill, for more deep dives like this one. And let's end this section with a quote from Dumbledore explaining Voldemort's beginnings. But not until a year after they were married. Tom Riddle left her while she was still pregnant, he never returned, and he never knew that Miss Sharolpa had given birth to a son, who was given his father's name. Chilling stuff. Welcome back to Artificially Literate. We're into our final segment now, The Truth Revealed and a Path Forward. And this is where all those dark puzzle pieces about Voldemort really start to click into place, leading to some pretty shocking conclusions. So Harry's got Slughorn's real memory thanks to Felix Felicis. He and Dumbledore watch it immediately. And you see young Tom Riddle just masterfully manipulating Slughorn. The flattery, the persistent questions about splitting the soul, it's chillingly calculated.
Absolutely. And Slughorn's discomfort is palpable. He explains that murder is the supreme act of evil needed to rip the soul. So you can hide fragments and objects, Horcruxes to achieve immortality. It's so repellent, so against nature, that even Slughorn, who's not exactly a moral paragon, is ashamed he ever discussed it. This is the core of Voldemort's evil, isn't it, this choice?
It really is. And based on this and everything else they know, Dumbledore lays it out. His theory. Voldemort aimed for 7 soul fragments, a magically significant number.
Right. 7 pieces. The diary Harry destroyed, that was 1.
Marvel Ogaunt's ring, which Dumbledore destroyed, hence his cursed hand. That's 2.
Yeah, the cost of fighting this is already visible on Dumbledore. Then Dumbledore identifies Slytherin's locket and Hufflepuff's cup from Hepzibah Smith's memory. That's 3 and 4.
He suspects Ravenclaw's diadem is likely another Founder's item, so that's 5.
Then Nagini, the snake, a living Horcrux, which is just mind-endingly dark magic. That's 6.
And the final piece. The fragment still inside Voldemort's own body. 7. It's a terrifying plan for immortality built on murder and desecration.
Each choice reflects his arrogance, his history, his fear of death. The film shows the Horcruxes. Visually, it works. But the book gives you so much more on the detective work, the implications, Dumbledore's long, lonely journey figuring this out. You feel the weight of the discovery more. Hashtag 3.2, Malfoy's culmination, and Dumbledore's final sacrifice.
Okay, well, this massive Horcrux secret is being revealed. Harry's still tracking Malfoy, and it finally comes to a head. Dobby and Creature confirm Malfoy is using the Room of Requirement constantly, and Harry figures it out. Malfoy fixed the Vanishing Cabinet, created a secret passage for Death Eaters into Hogwarts.
Which leads to that incredibly intense scene in the bathroom. Harry finds Malfoy breaking down, crying, overwhelmed by his task.
Their duel turns dark fast when Harry uses Sectum Sempra, that spell from the Prince's book, not knowing what it does.
And it's horrific. Malfoy's bleeding everywhere. Snape bursts in, heals him with this powerful countercurse. And in that moment, Harry knows. Snape is the half-blood prince. Just a total shock.
The film nails this sequence. The tension with the cabinet, the brutality of Sectum Sempra, Snape's reveal. It's powerful cinema. Very visceral.
But then Dumbledore, knowing the Horcrux hunt is everything, he takes Harry to that cave to find another one. This feels like Dumbledore's last stand, doesn't it? He makes Harry cut himself to open the cave, then he drinks that horrific potion himself.
Watching Dumbledore suffer like that, it's agonizing. Reliving trauma, immense pain, just to get the locket.
And then, as if that wasn't enough, the Inferi attack, these reanimated corpses, way scarier than zombies. Dumbledore, weakened, has to fight them off with fire.
Only to discover the locket is a fake.
Devastating. Just crushing contains that note from RAB saying they took the real Horcrux to destroy it. Adds another layer of mystery. Who is RAB? Someone else fighting back.
Yeah, a potential unknown ally.
The Inferi sequence in the film, though visually stunning, they look terrifying, genuinely scary, really captures the horror and Dumbledore's fading strength. Hashtag trick 3.3, the astronomy tower in the road ahead.
So they return to Hogwarts, mission failed, Dumbledore practically broken, and the dark mark is hanging over the astronomy tower. Death Eaters are inside. It's happening.
The final confrontation. Draco corners Dumbledore, disarms him, but he hesitates. He can't do it. And Dumbledore even then tries to reach him, offers protection, a way out, believing in choice, in good, right to the very end. It's incredibly poignant.
But then Snape arrives
Yeah.
and just Vada Kedavra kills Dumbledore, blasts him off the tower. Harry's watching, paralyzed by Dumbledore's spell. It's unbearable, gut-wrenching.
Absolutely shattering. Harry tries to chase Snape, full of rage and grief. Snape blocks everything, reveals, "I am the Half-Blood Prince," and escapes. Just like that, the wizarding world loses Dumbledore. Harry loses his mentor.
Hogwarts is plunged into grief.
Yeah.
And we see the cost of the battle, too. Bill Weasley attacked by Greyback, scarred for life.
But Fleur's reaction, her unwavering love for Bill despite his injuries, it's a powerful moment of light in the darkness, defies Mrs. Weasley's doubts, shows love endures.
And amidst all this loss, Dumbledore's lessons echo that power the Dark Lord knows not. Love.
Right. The power Voldemort can't understand, can't defeat, and the idea that Voldemort essentially created his own worst enemy in Harry by marking him, that prophecy connection.
And Harry finally accepts it fully, doesn't he? That line. The prophecy said, neither can live while the other survives. It means one of us has got to kill the other in the end. Just stark acceptance.
Yeah, no more denying it. And that acceptance fuels their decision. Harry, Ron, Hermione, they're not going back to school. They vow to hunt the Horcruxes themselves. It's their duty now, their friendship, their individual strengths. They're stepping up. Childhood over, ready to face the fight.
It's a huge turning point. And just thinking back, that earlier quote, almost a throwaway line about Dumbledore's hand. His hand was like that when I saw him over the summer, Harry whispered to Hermione. I thought he'd have cured it by now, though, or Madame Pomfrey would have done, foreshadowing the sacrifice he already made.
Yeah, subtle, but it's there. The pieces were falling into place all along.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, what we're left with is just a masterful story. It balances those moments of teenage life, love, friendship, jealousy, with this overwhelming, encroaching darkness of war. The book meticulously lays the groundwork for the final battle, through Dumbledore's lessons, through Harry really starting to understand Voldemort's past, his immortality. It sets everything up.
Absolutely. And the film, while it has to condense things, especially some of the finer points of the memories and the detective work, it really nails the atmosphere. It's moody, visually compelling, emotionally resonant. The Inferi, the tower scene, it brings a real visceral punch to the tragedy and Dumbledore's sacrifice. And you feel Harry's resolve hardening by the end.
Yeah. And this whole deep dive, it really reminds you that the biggest power in this story isn't just, waving a wand. It's the human stuff. Love, sacrifice, the choices people make under pressure. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How much is destiny? How much is choice? How do we respond when things seem impossible?
Definitely feed for thought.
Well, thank you for listening to Artificially Literate. We really hope this exploration gave you some new insights, maybe a fresh appreciation for Half-Blood Prince. Maybe you'll reread it or rewatch the film. Please do check out our other episodes, follow us for more discussions like this, and stay tuned for our next book exploration. And always remember, feed your brain, starve your inner fool.